Gary P. Nunn, singer-songwriter, musician, composer, publisher, you name it. He's been recorded by Jerry Jeff Walker, David Allen Coe, Roseanne Cash, Michael Murphy, and of course, Willie Nelson. Some of his more notable works have been London Homesick Blues. For 12 years now, the theme song for Austin City Limits.
In 1973, Roy, I was in London with Michael Murphy. I was working with Michael during that time. He's doing the Geronimo's Cadillac and Cosmic Cowboy era, and he invited me to go to England with him on a trip over there. And during the course of that trip, I found myself isolated and homesick and broke and everything else, and I had plenty of time on my hands, and I was in this cold room that the heat didn't work except during the evenings. So found time on my hands, and I just made up the song there, more or less as a joke, tongue-in-cheek, killing time.
Well, the song came out originally on Jerry Jeff Walker's Viva Terlingua album, which you sang the song, and many people for years thought that Jerry Jeff was singing that, I guess.
Still do. There's been a lot of people lose money on the bet, who sang that song, but yes, Jerry Jeff, we were recording his album that became Viva Terlingua in Luckenbach, and actually we'd never performed the song at the time we were doing the live recording. I'd sang it for him that afternoon out under the trees out by the old store there, and during the course of the evening he looked over at me and said, "Do that song you were singing this afternoon." And we did it, and that was it. That was what went on tape. So that was the first time we'd ever played the song. I like to think of myself as a part of continuation of the Texas musical tradition, without flattering myself or trying to in the tradition of Sons of the Pioneers or Bob Wills or something, to play for functions where the whole family can come, from grandma and grandkids, and it's not just a bar, meat market, or whatever.
Willie Nelson had a monster hit off a song you wrote called "The Last Thing I Needed" on his CMA award-winning album, Always on My Mind. How's that feel to a songwriter?
Well, I tell you, it feels mighty good. First, I should say that Donna Farrar co-wrote this song with me. It was her idea. The song title was her idea. So I split it 50-50 with her. So I wanted to mention that, in case she was watching, she'd be upset if I didn't mention her name. But I tell you, it feels great. It's just such a feeling of warmth and fulfillment to know that Willie would pay attention and like it and record it, and it do so well. Of course, everything he does turns to gold.
Last night you came home late, and I knew you'd been drinking. Oh, mellow look on your face. Thought it doesn't matter, this is the holiday season. You feel such a big empty space.
This is Roy Ashley with Gary P. Nunn for About Town, Lower Greenville Avenue in Dallas.